Coming to you from Orange County, California, this is the JuggLife podcast with Max Ada and Chad Wesley Smith. Good afternoon, everybody. Chad Wesley Smith here. This is another episode of the JuggLife podcast. I'm joined by, as always, by mischievous, magnanimous, Max Montanamus. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys?
And our special guest today, Miss Kalynn Pepito and Kristi Brewer. I was going to say Mrs. Kristi Brewer. Did I say that? Was that?
Whatever.
Okay. Kalynn and Kristi. So we're here in a different part of the now slightly less creepy seeming Grand Amway Hotel.
This is the more modern wing of the Grand Amway.
In Grand Rapids, Michigan. And at American Open 3, where these ladies both competed yesterday in the 58s and 63s respectively. So we figured we get to know our team members a little bit better. You all get to know the Team Juggernaut Weightlifters a little bit better. And, yeah. So, well, I guess first off, how do you, Kristi, how'd you feel about your performance yesterday? And, well, kind of recap today and how you felt about it.
Yeah. So coming in, I was a little nervous. It's been a while since I competed. I've been competing at the master level for the past year. So wanting to get back on the open stage, and overall happy with my performance. You know, you always want more. Everyone always wants more. But 6 kilo PR overall on the platform with my total, and then new master world record. So, you know.
American record, right?
Master's American record. So successful day.
How much was that?
I hit a 110 clean and jerk. So that one, a 190 total. So a record in the clean and jerk and total.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Good day.
That was second in the...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And in the open division, I got a medal silver. So
In the
it was
clean
pretty
jerk, right?
exciting. Clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Happy, but still, you're never satisfied, really, I feel. But can't be too mad coming off of an injury and kind of always having to modify my program, taking squats out and everything else, but still ended up third place overall, third in snatch and third in total. Clean and jerks didn't go as well, and that's usually my stronger movement in comp, but can't be too mad. So successful meet with new coaches and programs and whole new pretty much everything. So trying to adapt to something. It's been about like 12 weeks or so, 14 weeks working with you guys. Yeah, so not too bad, all things considered. Yeah.
So both of you are pretty new to weightlifting. About 18 months experience each.
2 years.
So if you talk about, you know, a little bit about your sport background, your training background before weightlifting, what interested you in weightlifting, and you know, just kind of your journey in the sport so far.
Okay. So growing up, I played all the sports from softball, soccer, track, cheerleading, enjoyed sports. I played collegiate softball, and then there's about 10 years where I did nothing. I went to school, graduated, and I worked in public accounting, and I worked a ton. And then there's kids, you know, those kids came along. And so then I decided I wanted to lose my baby weight. So I found CrossFit with a Google search. In 2013, I was like, I want to be fit. I don't know what to do. And I found CrossFit through Google. My husband did. And so I did CrossFit for 18 months, competed at the regionals twice with my team. And then I wanted to get better at weightlifting. So I found a weightlifting coach, and that within a week he was like, look, you have a weightlifting body, you should do weightlifting, you're built for it. I was like, all right. So now I am 18 months, 2 years now into weightlifting, and here we are.
Weightlifting coaches love stealing CrossFitters. It's our favorite thing. I mean, that's what our team is really built on. I'm convinced of that now. So yes, I'm a convert from
CrossFit to weightlifting. So, yeah, but no regrets. I love it. I love the sport, and now I can truly fulfill my shortness in life.
And since you've been in weightlifting, you were Masters World Games.
Yeah.
In New Zealand. How'd that go?
Masters World Games was the pinnacle of where I've been so far in my athletic or my weightlifting career. So I started weightlifting actually as a master athlete at 35, and I've been to Pan Am's. That's where I got my first world record, and then I broke those world records in New Zealand in March of this year. Was it March? April? April. And that's also I got the world record for the clean and jerk and the total. But yesterday I beat those, so.
Just got to do it on the official.
No, we're gonna have to officially do that.
And so, Kalynn, how about you? How did you come to become a weightlifter?
So I never had any athletic background coming into, never did any sports in high school or anything like that. Was kind of a little troublemaker, I guess. Just kind of hung around with the wrong people, got in trouble with the law. Never anything crazy, just like to party a little bit, a lot. Yeah, so when I finally took a step back and got myself together, my family all did CrossFit for like 4 years, and I hated CrossFit because I ended up getting a DUI when I was 17 and lost my license and had to get picked up from work, literally wherever I had to go, and I would get off work at 5:30 and I'd be like, oh, my parents are at that stupid CrossFit thing, and so I'd always have to wait for them, and then one day I remember just being super upset just because when I finally just was enough and realized I needed to turn my life around and do something with it, I was like, Dad, Mom, I want to try CrossFit. And I remember their jaws like dropping, and they were like, oh, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. So I gave it a shot, did my first like intro thing, and fell in love with it ever since. So I started with that, kind of just played around with the class WODs, never any competitions or serious CrossFit, not like Kristi going to regionals, no big deal. So just kind of played around with that for a little bit, and then I ended up going to a local CrossFit comp, and someone was like, oh, you should there was like a max clean and jerk lift or something, and I did like 180 or something pounds. And he's like, oh, you should try a weightlifting meet. And I was like, I don't know where to start or how to begin or do anything. And he was going to be at that meet, and it was in Utah, so tried it, and then I was hooked ever since then. So that was October of 2015, I believe. Yeah, October 2015 was my first meet. And I tried to qualify for Reno then, and I did. I hit the exact total. That would have been the first American Open that I would have done, but ended up getting hurt like a week later doing a CrossFit thing. Doing more CrossFit, yeah. So ended up being out for a little bit, and then the next meet was qualified for nationals, which happened to be in Salt Lake, and that's where I met this one, 63C session lifter we were at. It was a party.
Not like your usual party.
No.
63C session's always a party.
Yeah, so.
It's known for it.
Yeah. Yep. So things got pretty intense. No. So yeah, that's pretty much how it all began.
So, Kalynn, as you're looking back, you're 23 years old now, right? And been training in CrossFit or weightlifting since you were 21?
Yeah, 20. Like
20?
20, I was almost, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess if you could go back and talk to 17-year-old Kalynn.
Oh, God. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah. You think she wouldn't have listened? She wouldn't have listened
Probably not,
anyways.
nah.
Sure, whatever, old lady.
Yeah, sure. No, I definitely wish I could go back and start when my parents started dabbling in it and just join the family with them. Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to see where that could have taken me like earlier on in life, and yeah.
So, and then Kristi, you definitely have your own unique challenges with training, being a mother of two.
Yep.
You know, competing against Joanne, Max's wife, talked about when she started weightlifting, she would compete against girls who were half of her age,
Yep.
and now she's had meets where the girls were a third of her age. And yeah, yesterday in the 63s, you're 35 and there's 18-year-old girls competing and stuff. But yeah, how do you balance that mom life with the serious training life?
For me, my sanity is I train a lot in my garage. So I have a garage gym. Kick those kids off to school. Mom comes back, train in the garage. So yeah, it's definitely crazy. I think the pinnacle or the hardest part is one of my children is autistic. So trying to balance like all of the therapies but it also gives me motivation of realizing, look, like, yes, I'm 36. Most people think like it's game over, but you know, it's not. Like I can do it if I want to do it. So
Just getting it's game just getting started.
yeah,
Kinda,
I'm not broken yet. So it's just a number.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, everyone has things that they have on their plate. Everyone's busy. Mine just happened to be kids and a job and just trying to find the balance. So it's life.
So, and both of the girls are remote athletes. Kalynn lives in Salt Lake City area, and Kristi's in Boise. So yeah, say it right the right way, right? Boise. I know it's not Boise.
It's
No
not.
Z. There's no Z.
No,
Oh,
Boise.
it's definitely Boise to me.
No,
Oh.
that's wrong.
Well, hey.
Boiseans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boiseites get very particular about how it's
Is
said.
that what they're called, Boiseites?
Boys,
I don't know that.
voices. I don't know.
We're Utahns.
Utah. Yeah.
Utards. I don't know.
Idaho.
Yeah.
The so both of them are remote, and obviously you guys get to train together, some being like BFFs and everything. But Max, as remote athlete coach, what are some challenges you face working with? I mean, not particular challenges of these two necessarily, though. If you have some.
The biggest challenge with remote athletes and with a lot of athletes is just the everyone has a different level of like what they need versus what they want, and you know, there's both sides. As a remote coach or as a in-person coach, if you're spending too much time as an in-person coach, you can cripple athletes by kind of giving too much every day, coaching all the time, and the athlete maybe doesn't learn how to sort of solve problems in their mind through the lifts. You know, if you have somebody who's brand new, they need someone obviously there to sort of instruct them, hey, every day you do it like this, and you know, move their body into positions. Once the lifters have a grasp of the general sense of the movement and they have some experience, the coaching doesn't need to be as intense every single day, correct this, correct that, to the point where it can cause problems for an athlete. And so with remote athletes, the opposite's true, where sometimes you just don't have as much, you can't give as much in terms of, hey, like, fix this and it'll be better on the next lift. So a lot of what you're doing is giving them feedback after the fact. They've done their lifts, they send you some stuff, they talk to you, you give them some feedback. So your problem is that how do you get them to do it right the next time before you have to tell them? So you have to be creative in the program. You have to create a program that's kind of proactive in that what we're going to do today is going to affect how you're going to do the lift the next day or the next week. And we reinforce that every day after the fact so that when you come in to train, you have things set up in place that are addressing, you know, what we think is going to be a technical mistake. Okay, you're gonna go early, so like we're gonna work on that a lot with this exercise or that exercise, and then talk about it a lot, and then try and reinforce it so that when you go to do the lift the next time, it's more correct, so that I don't have to be there or I can't be there saying, hey, stay over the bar more in the next lift. Does it make sense? So there's always a challenge in that you have to sort of problem solve ahead of time. You can't just rely on the fact that you can be there to yell at somebody and motivate them and push them and do these things. It also takes a certain kind of person, you know, the personality of somebody who really wants to get better and who's really pushing themselves to do that, because when they go in the gym, they look at it as this is an opportunity to improve. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do today that can make me better? And then they're critical of themselves in that because they film a lot of the lifts, they look at them and they analyze them too. So you get that extra benefit of both eyes, the athlete's eyes and your eyes on their lifting.
Girls, as you guys are becoming more experienced as remote athletes, and you've been doing it a little bit longer, Kristi, but what are maybe some advices that you have for other people out there doing remote coaching, whether it's with us or someone else, as it becomes more and more prevalent and a more common way to train? And obviously, Max and I think that people can be extremely successful in that. I mean, we had 2 remote athletes win national championships. So what are some advices that you would give to people trying to do remote coaching and make it as successful as possible?
I think the biggest thing is, especially for me, is to be as honest and open as you can. Don't avoid talking about like, oh, I have an injury, and you're like scared.
And send the bad lifts. Send the misses.
Yeah, send everything. Send
not just the
best lift and the worst lift. And yeah, exactly.
I just send
pretend.
the Instagram posts.
Yeah. What you see on Instagram is real. Yeah. No, you only see. Don't send them the Instagram stuff. Send them everything. Be honest that way, and say, hey, I do have an injury. Can we work around this? And don't be scared to tell. I was always so scared to be like, oh, I have an injury, or or if I just had a really bad day or something. Like,
everyone on the team starts with 2 strikes. So.
Yeah.
You only have 1 strike left.
Yeah. So already down to 1. No. So yeah, just have that like open communication and be able to tell them exactly what's going on, how you feel. Don't say, yeah, I feel great, when really it was everything. I just felt like I got ran over by a truck, basically. So that's the biggest thing. Cause
communication was huge. I've had a couple coaches very instrumental in where I am today. And then when I made the move from California back to Idaho for family, I became a remote athlete and pretty much was like, I don't even know if I can lift anymore. I was freaking out. I didn't have the confidence in myself as a lifter. And JP, all people was like, look, like, you've got to be able to do it for yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. You're the one on the platform. You're lifting the bar. So being a remote athlete was probably one of the best things for me as a lifter, being confident, not just on the platform, but in training, how to push yourself. But yeah, communication was huge, and truly sending the crappy lifts because they happen every training session. So
we would be texting back and forth, and she's like, you should probably tell Max these things. I'm like, whoa.
That's actually that's a common thing even in person, is that lifters don't communicate sometimes what exactly is going on, because sometimes you get lifters and it's a unique situation where you have somebody who maybe they want to give you the answer they think that you want, and that's more important to them than giving you the information you need. Yeah. And you can get people who are, and it's really it can be dangerous. I've had athletes that were severely injured or severely hurt that weren't forthright with what was happening, and that puts everybody in a compromised position where you don't know if this person's going to get seriously injured, and that's never a coach's desire, to push someone so hard that they get hurt. I mean, no coach I can think of is like that.
Not even Ivan Abjayev.
Not even Abjayev, right? There's no need to hurt somebody, because if they are hurt, they can't lift. If they die after the competition, like, well, whatever, right? That's none of my business. Once the medal ceremony's over, you're on your own. No, but it's communicating is huge, right? And if people are too concerned with what everyone else is thinking about, they're going to end up shooting themselves in the foot in the long term, right? You also, if you communicate with an athlete really well, you'll get a sense of when, how they really feel, because you'll talk to them and they can, when their reactions are different or what they say is different than it has been, maybe something's off. And that just takes time and experience and familiarity with people. But, communication is huge. And then another one that's really big is, it seems like people maybe don't understand where to put the role of a coach, and everyone's going to be different in coaching. Some people, Chad maybe had one person help him, in actually formally coach him his whole time, right? And some people have a coach from day one till the Olympics, and it can be easy for a person or an athlete to put all their everything on a coach.
Yep.
You're my coach, you're the travel organizer, you're this, you're my dad, you're this, you're that. Like, it's too much on a person that doesn't belong in that role. Or they rely too much on that coach as like, I don't think for myself on the platform, I just do what that coach says. And that can be, not the right scenario where that lifter is now, if they don't have the ability to correct or adjust or make these things happen for themselves, the coach can be, they're just wasting that resource. The opposite can be true too, where they neglect the coach. They don't give the coach the information. They sort of believe they've done everything on their own. The coach is just kind of this person who's weighing them down. It's like, you have to think about the balance of where a coach fits in the relationship between coach and athlete. It's going to be in between those 2 points of not necessary and everything in my life is resting on my coach's, shoulders.
All my coaches home.
Right. Well, there's definitely, when they're doing well, it's always the athlete, and when they do poorly, it's always the coach. That's always the case.
That's just a given.
Yeah.
So, where can people follow you, find out more about you and stuff?
Oh, the Insta famous.
Where can they fangirl out with the most embarrassing moment?
The most
Somebody approach you at like a restaurant or anything?
Oh, never. People never. No. Not as much as Kalynn. But tell us some interesting, fun
the
stuff.
The most creepiest one was I was actually in Idaho. I went to a CrossFit comp. I wasn't competing. I was just there to go watch a friend. And we go to Outback Steakhouse of all places. And I come out of the bathroom and this guy approaches me. He's like, "Are you Kalynn?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "My wife is over there. She really wants a picture with you, but she was too shy to come ask you or something." And
stalking you while you were in the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, "So you waited for me to come out of the bathroom?"
I wanted me to give you a hug. She wanted to give you a hug.
Yeah.
She was too nervous, so she told me to
I'm
do
like,
it.
"Oh, where is she? She's somewhere. I don't know."
I'll just give you the hug for her.
Yeah.
Keep a metal pipe in my pocket.
Well, you got a lot of those yesterday. Come on, you got more.
Those young boys
Yeah.
interested in-
He's like, "I'll just give you a fist bump instead. How about that?" So that was definitely the most bizarre time that someone
So
has
besides
approached me. But
Outback Steakhouse bathrooms, where else? Mostly what's your Instagram?
yeah, Kalynn_Rose. That's my Instagram handle, so you can find me.
That's KALY.
LNN_Rose.
They come to have you serve some drinks in Park
Oh
City.
yeah, that too.
Oh, yes.
Big tips.
At the Boneyard in Park City. It's a fun town. You guys will be out there.
We will be. Team
Yeah.
camp in Park City.
Yep.
In October.
October.
I am K_Mighty on Instagram.
That's gonna
Are you
change.
planning on changing it to the Bulldog?
Bulldog.
Brewer?
Bulldog, yes.
Yeah.
I need to incorporate this full bulldog.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
nickname. Kristi the Bulldog Brewer.
It,
It just so well.
It just flows off your
the
tongue.
so well.
See, this weightlifting thing has made me fully accept this short, thick life.
Short,
is that thick
short,
with two
thick
C's?
life.
Yes, this is the new one. I've always wanted to be tall and skinny, and 5 foot is not going anywhere.
Fun
Marissa
fact,
always
I
says
had
that
no
she's
idea you
tall
were
for her
5 feet
height.
tall.
5
Tall
feet.
for her height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tall?
Kaylin has no nickname yet.
No, it's
Chad's working on
You
it.
To
write,
be
write
announced.
nickname options in the
There you go.
yeah.
Nickname
comments.
options in the comments.
Yeah.
There you go.
Montana.
You guys can find me on Instagram, Max_Ada, or on Facebook, or you can email jugcoaching. You can email me
He's not
at
even
max
trying- he's not even trying
max@jstrength.com.
anymore.
It's the second time today I've messed up the podcast exit.
JuggernautCoaching.com.
Juggernaut. Scratch that. Juggernaut Coaching Online. Juggernaut Coaching on the internet. Okay. Hold on. Juggernaut Coaching at JuggernautsCoaching.com. I'm seriously can't get this. Chad, where can they find?
They can find Max at Max_Ada on Facebook or on Instagram. Max Ada on Facebook. Max at JTSstrength.com if you want to talk directly to him about anything. Sales pitches, ideas, coaching, I guess. Just if you want to see how his day's going, go ahead and email him at max@jtsstrength.com. I'm Chad Wesley Smith at Chad Wesley Smith and at Juggernaut Training on Facebook and Instagram, filling up your newsfeed all day. If you're interested in our online coaching services, you could become teammates with these two lovely ladies through juggernautcoaching.com. Besides that, subscribe to the YouTube. If you enjoy the podcast, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. That will help us get up on the lists so more people can find us there. Thank you for watching or listening or both, and we'll see you next week.